All right, you're rolling.
All right, my name is Neil Patrick Logan Thomas, and I was having a drunken conversation last night with a friend, and we're both kind of music fanatics. We were talking, I made a comment that country music and rap music are pretty much the same thing, and he thought it was crazy. So in order to prove him wrong, I started doing all this research, not even realizing I had a persuasive speech to give today. So kind of helped out. So this is going to be about how rap music and country music are the same type of music. So we'll do three things. We'll go with the history, then we'll go with the message that they send, and then we'll go with the results of their work. So if you look at them, and this is all, you have to step back and look at these objectives. So if you know the history of these two musics, they both started in very poor areas and are both very Southern driven. Rap started using samples from soul records, which were derived from, or which had its roots in Southern churches. So it had this preachy type of sound to it. Country is the same way. It started in the South, in the church, and also kind of had this preachy storytelling element to it that is very attractive to people, because people want to sit down, they want to hear stories, and it's easier to listen to. Also, the history of them is that when they first came out, people thought it was a fad, and that not a lot of people were going to listen to it. People hated country when it initially came out, the same thing with hip-hop. But they somehow have lasted over the way, and through the time, their message is really similar because they have such close roots. So whether they're talking about, love, they're kind of saying the same things. So, or if they're talking about having fun and partying, when Toby Keith says, "Fire up a fat boy and pass it," it's the same thing as Wiz Khalifa saying, "I'm rolling all this weed I'm holding." It's just how they say it. Mm-hmm. Or when you have someone like Loretta Lynn who said, "We're poor, we had love." That's one thing they have to make sure of. It's the same thing as Biggie saying, "We used to fuss when the landlord dissed us." So the message is also very specific in that they kind of have this apathetic attitude towards anyone who's not their audience. They make their music and they kind of don't care if you get it or not. If you don't like hip-hop, you're not part of the culture, you're just not going to get it. And it's not for you. And they're fine with that. And the same thing with country. And everyone thinks that their views are a little different, but when Katrina happened and Kanye West said that George Bush doesn't care about black people, that no one ever talked about the fact that a week later the Dixie Chicks said that we don't want this violence and that they're ashamed that Bush is even from Texas. So that they are very similar in views. It's just the delivery is different enough to where people don't really tie them together all that much. And finally, the results. I didn't know this, I had to look this up, but Complex Magazine released the top 20 most successful albums in the past 20 years. 7 of them are country and 7 of them are rap.
Wow.
So you have Taylor Swift sitting next to Eminem and 50 Cent next to Carrie Underwood. So 14 out of the top 20 are either hip hop or rap. And I think the other ones were like, U2, or someone who just sells out just insane amounts of tickets in arenas, and who's obviously established and successful. So no one really pays attention to how successful this music is unless you are a part of it or you're a direct consumer of it. And my prediction is that the more these lines keep getting blurred, that you won't have to look at them objectively. It'll be a clear collaboration between the two, and they'll only become closer. That's my speech.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Thanks for this talk.